Shalom, Israel. Shalom to all the Hebrew camps in the Western Hemisphere, all the Hebrew brothers in the continent of Africa, Middle East, Asia, Europe, islands, so on and so forth. I just want to give a shout out to all those Hebrew camps that attended the conference here in D.C. last week, man. It was a real blessing to be there, man, to see Big Elder Barak from House of David take charge, man. It was really a blessing to see all the prophets in the same room at the same time. FOPE, Quinath, and Maharakai was hosting the whole thing. Bakwash from 14th Street, Jeremiah from Yah World, the brother from Ohio, Nathaniel Allah, the other brother, Kawatazaya. So many brothers came. It was real. It was amazing, man. Of course, my elder Ak Ashfarash, Lion of the tribe of Judah. Shout out to Elder Hoshua overseas in Zion. Shout out to Elder Eugene over in the UK. It was we all represented the nation real prideful at the conference, and it was a real big blessing to be there. I sure would have loved to see UPK there and Israel United and a few other camps I forgot to mention. But speaking of UPK, man, I just watched one of the brothers from UPK do a video, and I will break that down. A real amazing video, man. Like, I'm sure it went over a lot of people's head. So I'm gonna do a breakdown on this UPK video just came out. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. We were discussing Masada, Jericho, and the Mt.Olives. And as you can see, there's Ben Gurion Airport up in Tel Aviv. Let me zoom out just a little bit. There's Tel Aviv. Like I said in the last video, Tel just means old or ancient. And of course, Aviv comes from the word Abib. We know there ain't no V's in the Hebrew. Got these guys out here speaking Russian and Poland and all that. Here's the place that they call Jerusalem. Here's the place that they call Jericho. Here's the place that they call Bethlehem. And look at that. They got Bethlehem in a completely different direction as Jerusalem. 2 miles, 3 kilometers. And we know according to the scriptures, Jerusalem and Bethlehem is in the same place. So how could that make sense at all? But you brothers and sisters, you fall for that. Why? Because you have not been taught how to read the Bible like a roadmap, like a geographical roadmap, excuse me. But as you can see, this purple border right here makes up the West Bank, where the Arabs, who go by the name Palestinian, as I was saying on the last video, if you are Arab, how can you call yourself from Palestine? It's not even an Arab word. You understand? That's a European corruption of the Philistines. And the Europeans, man, they named everything, man. They named the continent of Africa after Leo Africanus, which was a Roman general. They named America after Amerigo Vespucci, which was Christopher Columbus's navigator. When they showed up, they named our brothers, the Native American Indians. They named those guys Indian. Indian is just a Latin word that means savage. So it's just amazing how wherever they go, they just name any and everything, right? And they also named this place the biblical Jericho. They named that place Masada, which just means fort. And here it is right here. Here's the biblical Masada. Here's the place, the Jordan, where Joshua led the Israelites across. I've been down there a few times. Here's the place where John the Baptist baptized Christ. Here's the place where here's Arad, the mountain of Olives, where the city of Arad sits. which is on the eastern border. I'm going to show you a scripture on that later. Here's Telerad. Here's Mount Zion, right? So the waters is going to gush out of the temple of the Lord, and they're going to empty out right into the Dead Sea. They're going to go through the Mount of Olives, through Arad, all the way, boom, into the Dead Sea. And another one is going to go all the way into the Mediterranean, which is this way. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Let's get back to Jericho. Because the Jericho thing, man, they were real strategic about hiding this. And they know you guys ain't gonna ever show up out of fear. So they could just start discovering and naming stuff wherever they want to name it, and nobody's gonna challenge them because, you know, Esau want to take authority over everything. But anyway, so this guy Abel Robinson, this devil, he the modern Jerusalem, he found so-called Hezekiah's tunnels. I showed Hezekiah's tunnels in my last videos on Mount Zion, and they found an ark and named it after him, which went with the scripture in Psalm 49:11, in the old city, which was named after him, right? And there's a source, just in case you guys think I just be looking anywhere. Go to Edward Robinson on Wikipedia, right? And all this stuff is like available to the public. This is no new information, but this stuff is old. It's just that, like I said before, our shepherds have not taught us to read the Bible like a roadmap yet. They don't even teach us to come up to keep the feast. But anyway, Robinson Edward, biblical scholar, born in Southington, Connecticut in 1794. He died in New York City. He explored Palestine in 1838 with Reverend Eli Smith. In 1839 and 1840s remained in Berlin to digest his notes. He's probably up there getting initiated into some little secret society where they homosexuals raping everybody. But anyway, and verify his discoveries. Yeah, he had to check in with the Caesars, who we call, you know, Rothschilds today, and Rockefellers, and so on and so forth. This work gave first impetus to modern biblical research. So if it wasn't for this guy, they would have never expanded what we call biblical archaeology today. And I'm going to show you this map. Let me show you this map so you can have an idea of what this devil began, what he started. If you start from this place, Jerusalem, right, the modern Jerusalem, what we call Bethel today, and just go south, not one of these cities is named correctly. Not one. Even the modern Beersheba, right? Even the modern Beersheba, I mean, it's not far from the ancient Beersheba, but I want to show a scripture on Beersheba, right? Because we're looking at the map. Here's the modern Jerusalem, and here's Beersheba. I want to show a scripture real quick. Let's go to Genesis 22. And this scripture used to always baffle me, right? 22:1, Genesis. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, he said, behold, here I am. And he said, take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah. And I showed that land of Moriah in the videos on Mount Zion and Jerusalem. But here we go. And offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for burnt offering, and rose up, went unto the place which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. So verse 4 says, Abraham took 3 days to get to what the scriptures call Jerusalem, and this is where the archaeologist Edward Robertson places it, right here. So Abraham being in Beersheba, and let me get the scripture to prove that he was in Beersheba. Let's go to verse 20. I mean chapter 21. Let's go down to the bottom. Right. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. Then Abimelech rose up. Okay, let me start from verse 30. And he said, For these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me that I have digged this well. Wherefore he called that place Beersheba, because there they swear both of them. So this place Beersheba, which means 7 wells, Ba'ar, meaning the wells, and Shabai, meaning 7. 7 wells. Abraham made a covenant with Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in the land of Beersheba, right? Last verse, and Abraham sojourned in the Philistines' land many days. So while he was in this land, this is when God came to him and told him to raise up early in the morning, saddle your ass, take your only son who you lovest, meaning God didn't even recognize Ishmael. That's a whole nother story we're gonna get into. But go to the land of Moriah, which is where the Robinson, the archaeologist, places right here, and offer thy son for a burnt offering. So Abraham here in Beersheba took a 3-day journey all the way here. Does that look like a 3-day journey on foot? No, it does not. I'm going to tell you right now. Just from the Mt.Olives to Mount Zion is a day's journey. And that's 1 day right there. From here, Mount Zion to Mt.Olives, that was a full day. I made that journey myself. Me and Elder Hoshua and the brother Lamad and his wife. Shout out to the brother Lamad and Carol, man. Shalom, Kwam Yasha'Allah, right? Shout out to the brothers in Cairo as well, man. Shaquat, Baruch, Lucky, Amadou, Bob, Nakaya. Who am I forgetting? So many brothers. Shout out to brother Rapah, brother Prince. Who else is in Cairo? I can't remember the names. Anybody else I forgot? Shout out brother Rhyme, Kowal, and Alexandria. You know, Yahweh Allah in the UK. Shout out all y'all, man. But anyway, so Abraham with Isaac. 3-day journey, right? Is that a 3-day journey to you from Beersheba to Jerusalem? No, it's not, brother. Just this right here is probably 3 days. If you go to Hebron, that's probably 3 days, right? That's a 3-day journey right there. Matter of fact, probably less than that, to be honest. 3-day journey would probably be around this area. Because this is 1-day journey. Mt.Olives to Mount Zion. That's a day journey for me. That's a Sabbath day's journey, matter of fact. Right? And we know Abraham rose up early in the morning, meaning this was going to be a serious mission. He had to start as early as possible because it was a long journey. So 3 days. Did he go all the way up here to what the white archaeologists call Jerusalem? No. Abraham came right here to Jerusalem. Boom. Here's Jerusalem. This area right here. Here's the Mt.Olives. Here's Mount Zion. And Mount Moriah is probably in this area right here. 3 days. Boom. Boom. Right?